Right, today what we're going to be doing is taking off the door handle, taking off the mirror. What I'll be showing you in this process is how to execute this the safest possible way. What I will also be showing you is my choice of tools and what I feel that you guys should have in your toolkit to be doing such a task like this. Flat screwdriver. Now if you look, this one's got a very slight bend to it. That isn't because I've abused it, that's because I've bent that tool so that when I'm using it, I'm actually away from the panels of the car. Moving on to our specialist tools. We use these to get out any stubborn Allen keys or Torx that may have the possibility of rounding. The hammer, that was only just to push in the Allen key as far as possible. Ratchet and extension, not a necessity, but trim tool for removing clips and plugs. Now I like this one because it's very narrow. Our big spreader. These do get beaten up. We tried to smooth them back down, we sand them back in so that there's no burrs in the plastic that can cause scratches on any of the paintwork. And finally, masking tape. This is to protect all the panels as you're going about your job. So the trick on working on any vehicle like this is we want to be able to work on this handle and make it look like we haven't even been there. We don't want to leave any damage around the outsides, and we don't want to break any clips. The clips actually hold on this handle. Now there's one big clip at the back here. You will flex that one back and this handle should slide off. Anything plastic, anything age related, I mean this is an older Audi R8, plastic gets brittle, so you have to have a feeling for it and know your limits on what you're forcing. Right, so we've masked the door up a bit further. If we open the door itself, now I can't show you what I'm doing, but I will show you the clip after. So we're going to open the handle fully extended. Basically the clip, I just need to pry it away from the handle and literally leave the screwdriver in there. And we're going to start sliding towards us. Now once we've gone past where I think the clip would be, I can remove the screwdriver. Then if I keep on coming, we heard a click and this trim's loose. Basically what it was this clip here, this plastic clip, was hooked on the back of this. All of these part of the clips run in this channel here, either side. If you imagine that the back of the handle was in this clip here, which wouldn't allow you to slide the trim back. So what I've done is come from this angle with the screwdriver, come in here, push the clip back and put the screwdriver in between the two. That allows me to then slide the handle back. So as we've slid the handle back and I know it's got past that tooth, I can remove the screwdriver. And then with my full hand and both hands on the trim, we remove the handle itself. So you got to remember guys, that handle is for a Gen 1 Audi R8. This is not the same for any other vehicle, and every vehicle will be attacked differently. But if anyone's got a Gen 1, that's how you take the handle off. Now moving on to the wing mirror itself. We had a bit of a discussion this morning. I started stripping the door card off of the inside. This is the first Gen 1 I've worked on. So I went and spoke to the guru Pav, and Pav let me know, no, it's done from the outside of the car. I was pretty shocked at this, but it is what it is. We've just got to roll with it. It's a lot more intricate to do it this way, and I'll show you why. Now, if I turn the mirror, if you look down in this corner, we have a bolt, and the same on the other side of the mirror. As you can see, we've got no room to get to them bolts, which means we have to take out the glass, to strip down the internals, to knock round the bush that's inside the mirror, and that will release this mirror off of this bottom housing. We'll then take that off, feed all the wires out, and then we can undo the 3 bolts inside that are hidden. As you can see, we've masked up around the mirror. That's to remove the glass so we don't cause any damage to any of the paintwork around the mirror. But before we do any work on it, we need to protect this paint surface here. So we'll go over and get some masking tape. Let's grab a knife. We're just collecting the rubbish out the bin. Not what we wanted. There we go. This is exactly the same as masking tape that we have on the rolls, except that's an extremely big one. Most bodywork suppliers, wholesalers will be able to supply that. We've got to get the glass out. It's always a very dangerous task. This is going to be your friend. This is a trim tool, but basically what we're looking for is a wide spread of pressure. So you don't want to use a very narrow point of pressure, because if you narrow point pressure on the glass, more than likely you're going to crack it. On some mirror glasses, you will have a plastic lump in the center. Just come underneath and have a little look. This one hasn't got it. We can go straight from underneath. Now, if it had the plastic center, we may have to come slightly to the edge, because if you go on that plastic lump, you've now applied all of this pressure to one point. When taking off the mirror glass, you're gonna apply a hand to the top, and you're gonna, with your thumb, apply a little bit of pressure to the top of the glass, and you're gonna come from underneath, and you'll hear a click. They can always be very tricky because it's held on by a load of plastic clips around the back. Sometimes they can be really stubborn. Accidents can happen and the glass can break. We've done well on this one. Now, what I meant by the plastic clips, which I like to call spider clips, as they go all the way around, and they basically hook around this frame here. These plugs have been on for some time. They can be quite stiff. Because it's very thin, I can get in there. As we're going to undo all the screws inside. What's holding this mirror cover onto the base is 3 screws in the base unit itself, and just for a little sneaky one, they chucked one underneath. So what them 3 screws have done is now, if I hold the internal base, that mirror cover is now loose. But we're not done yet. Undo this center. Basically on the back of this, there's a plug. We need to remove that. This is now loose. And then it's held on by 4 clips. If I just get this screwdriver in here, and we can give it a little pry, see it move back. Same under here, another time under here. Right, so that is now loose. Then what we have is this plug at the back here. There's a clip on either side, but we're just going to twist the screwdriver in, and that will slowly bring the plug out, and that's off. Our center's out the way and unplugged, and now we have this Allen key in here. Now sometimes these are very seized, and because it's a very small Allen key, 2.5mm, they like to round off. So I've got a special tool that I use for that. These are a special bit set that if you've got a Torx or an Allen key and they've rounded already, these will remove them. For certain situations, I will use these straight away. It's actually spiraled and tapered at the same time. So a normal Allen key would be completely straight, and if it spins, then you're in trouble. It looks aggressive, but you haven't got to hit it hard. Now what we're doing is we're putting the Allen key in, and we're just gonna tap it home. Then we're gonna turn, slowly apply the pressure. Now you can see the corrosion on this. And we've had it a lot of times before using normal Allen keys, and they just like to round. You'll hold the mirror, your turn. Wiggle up, and that's your mirror loose. And then basically, we're gonna start feeding the cables through. Thank you, Els, for holding the mirror. That's our part out. We can remove that, put that on the floor. We can take our mirror cover off. We have 3 hidden screws. La la! We're going to use a T30 Torx. We're going to come in from the top, move on to your next bolt, and we're moving on to the last bolt. Our 3 bolts are loose. We can actually leave them in situ, and as we pull out, same again. Feed the plugs through one by one, 3, and the rest. There's our plugs hanging out. There's our base plate. Unmask the car. And that's the job that I was set out to show you guys how we would attack it. It's going to go back exactly the same way once the boys have wrapped the car. We're masked up to protect, and we'll fit all the parts. Now, if you notice, because we've done it in such a delicate way, that when everything goes back together, it's going to look like no one's been there. It always helps if you've done it before. So, but like I said, that was my first time of working on a Gen 1.